My strategy is just hold what I have and try not to look at the prices too much. I think I'm a better builder than I am an investor. So I would never give people advice on where the price of the assets are going. We raised $1.4 million at the start of the year. Barracuda, the software, is a sales and partnership CRM.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Board Founders Show. If you'd like to hang out with us, with other founders, creators, investors, and developers in the Web3 space, you can join Board Founders Club at boardfoundersclub.com. And now let's get back to the show. And today with me, Sam Sklar, the founder of Barracuda. Hey, Sam. It's really nice to have you on the show. How are you, man?
Great to be here. And for anyone listening, if you want to hang out with me, by the time this is published, I'll be hanging out in the Board Founders Discord. So you can meet me there.
Great.
Great to be on the podcast, calling in from very cold New York City, and excited to be on the show.
Yeah, glad to have you. Could you tell us a bit about yourself, your background, who are you and what do you do?
Would love to. I'm one of the founders here at Barracuda, and we're building the sales CRM for modern teams, which I'll have plenty time later to tell you more about what we mean by modern teams. On the Barracuda side, I manage our growth, sales, and customer success side of the business. I also do some of our marketing. So if you see any of our weak content on Twitter, you can complain to me about the quality of our memes. Before starting Barracuda, I grew up in California, went to university out here, and lived in San Francisco for a few years, working as a product manager at one of the larger, more traditional fintech companies called Intuit. So most Americans will know Intuit for TurboTax and QuickBooks, and spent a few years there building small business banking products. Worked at a startup called Main Street as a product manager, which was also a fintech company for small businesses. And while I was working there, met my incredible co-founders for Barracuda, and went off to start that business just about 1 year ago.
Yeah, that's great. So I did a background check. I've been doing some research on you, and I noticed that you are very honest on your LinkedIn profile. For example, you had a yeah, it was very very funny and entertaining. Like you had you have a Facebook internship there, and what were your responsibilities? So you ate free food and played ping pong. I really liked it, and you I saw that you were living in China for a few months. How do you like China? How was the trip there, and how different is the culture there?
Yes. Well, on my LinkedIn side, I like to always insert my voice into things when I can, and I try not to take myself too seriously. And I feel like so many people project a side of themselves that is a lot more serious than what happened. And when you're doing an internship, big part of it is having fun and getting to meet people. And so I tried to be honest about that there. But in terms of my China internship, the short answer is it was a great experience. Really enjoyed living there and experiencing the food and the culture. How I ended up getting the opportunity was I was studying Mandarin in high school, and I had a friend who was doing an internship in China to work at a supply chain manufacturing company. He didn't speak any Chinese, so he invited me along to do the internship with him to be his translator. And upon arriving in China, it took about 2 hours to learn that what I thought were half decent Mandarin skills I had developed studying in California were actually completely terrible. So my skills as a translator were not quite there, but fortunately, the people there were very nice. They were willing to work with me through my broken Chinese. Many of them spoke English, so we were able to get by. And I was living in a city called Dongguan, which is a manufacturing city in southern China. Not a common place for tourists to go, so not very many international people, and just jumped head into the scene there. Got to visit a lot of factories as part of my work. Met great people. Pretty much had exclusively Szechuan Chinese food for 3 months, which took some time for my stomach to adjust to, but overall gave me a great appreciation for the country and the scale at which they've been able to develop all of their manufacturing efforts in a short time.
Great, awesome. I would love to go to China. Maybe in few months. I will think about it. Uh, I'm curious. How did you get into the crypto slash Web3 world? Because we'll talk about Barracuda in a minute, but I chose you and Barracuda to be on the show because you are doing something in the Web3 space for the Web3 community. And so, how did you get to crypto in the first place?
Yes, well, aside from personally doing some investing and buying NFTs, my first real jump into the space was during the Constitution DAO era.
Mm.
I don't know if you remember,
Yeah, yeah, sure.
that would have been November 2021. At the time, I was working at Main Street and following crypto Twitter, saw that the Constitution DAO team was putting together a fundraise and knew that I had to contribute funds to the experience. My coworkers that ended up starting Barracuda with me were also very excited. So we were chatting, watching the live stream, everything to do with that. From there, um, started participating in other DAOs like Kraus House that were trying to buy a basketball team, and just the concept, one, that we could participate in a side of the world that was never possible before by crowdfunding, as well as getting to meet really interesting, exciting builders in the space and Discord, just had us in love from day one with the space. And so you'll see right up here in my screen, I have a framed picture of a blimp.
Yeah.
We decided to start our own DAO to buy one of the Goodyear blimps. And we were hoping to raise $25 million to buy a blimp. Put together a Discord, got a few thousand people in short notice, and had a pretty thriving community. And ultimately decided to not fundraise for the blimp due to some of the regulatory uncertainties with operating a blimp company. But that was a fun experience that really solidified us in the Web3 space.
Okay, great. So, what is Barracuda? What do you guys do?
Barracuda, the software, is a sales and partnership CRM. So we help folks track deals, save contacts and organizations that they're working with, and overall close deals and partnerships with other companies they're working with. And so if you think about the most traditional CRM in the space as an example, Salesforce or HubSpot would be a good comp. But we're coming into this space with a fresh perspective, building for the way modern founders and teams work, and building a faster, more sleek experience for the folks that are getting to use the software.
Okay, so do you think there is a place for yet another CRM in the in the world. I was actually building my own CRM, but for insurance, for the insurtech space, and it was quite hard. I think. Okay, yeah, we were in the niche, but still, it was partly a CRM. What's your thoughts about so huge competition in the space?
Huge competition, but also a huge market,
Yeah.
and there's space for many players. Personally, I think that Salesforce is a behemoth of a competitor, but it's also time to come in and see someone disrupt them. If you talk to anyone who is an active Salesforce user, they will complain to you endlessly about the outdated UI, the pain of trying to add a note onto an opportunity or a deal. And ultimately, they've done very well appealing to large enterprises and building great reporting functionality. But for the end sales user, the person who's supposed to feel empowered with this software, they're actually fighting the software more than it's helping them. And so the more folks we talk to and hear complaints about the current system, the more we feel like now's a great time to come in and disrupt.
Yeah. What's the story behind the project? How did you guys start it? You are with two co-founders. That's right.
There's four co-founders
Okay.
total, me and
Four.
three
Okay.
other folks. Two of which I met at my last company, Main Street, who were amazing engineers there, and then the fourth co-founder is a friend of theirs from college who runs our product and design side of the house.
Okay, so you
And in
have like
terms,
two engineers in the founding team. You handle sales, marketing, yeah,
yes,
and the fourth guy is handling the product side. Yeah,
that
that's right.
that's right. Yes. In terms of coming up with the idea, we started out with a couple of different projects in Web3. Initially, to support BlimpDAO, we're building fundraising tools on Solana. Very quickly, the DAO fundraising market dried up, and many folks were leaning towards using NFTs as a way to fundraise rather than issuing tokens. And we felt like there were a lot of great tools for creators. So we decided to pivot away from that. Next, we built a Web3 link in bio,
Mhm.
similar to Linktree if you've ever used
Yeah,
that.
yeah, sure.
And we were able to achieve some pretty great growth by building no code tools for NFT communities and DAOs
Hmm.
to show off their NFT floor price data, governance data, anything else relevant to the project. And while it was growing quickly, we found that one, the tool itself wasn't something that was, while people liked it, it wasn't solving a core need for them. At the end of the day, it was just a nice to have. And when you're building a startup, you never want to be solving a nice to have. It's better to be core to someone's stack.
Yeah,
Um,
be a painkiller, not vitamin.
exactly, that's right. And the other thing we found, for many folks that had grown through community led growth, it was getting harder to build community in a bear market. Clearly, you're one shining exception to that. But also thinking about our own personal experience, we hadn't been successful through community building. We had been successful through direct outreach and working through our contact network to get folks signed up. And the way we did that was by having a carefully managed CRM where we stayed on top of all of our deals and follow ups. And we saw that more folks, particularly those building B2B tools, needed more than ever to be really focused about their outreach. And the existing CRM market, one, I've already mentioned some of the issues with it today, but there's also the fact that none of the existing CRMs supported Telegram as a channel. And so we realized we could make a huge contribution to this space by building a Telegram integrated CRM. From there, expanding to all the channels we love in this space, like Twitter and Discord. And so that's really the genesis of the idea that's we've continued to iterate and improve upon ever since.
Okay, so what were your first steps, like building the product? You already had some clients to onboard to the product, or you started with the code, or what was the what were the first steps?
Well, we were our own first and best user. We
Yeah,
needed it more than anything. So that was helpful.
for
And
your
then
DAO, yeah.
for our company, yes.
Okay, for your company.
Yes. And from there, we worked with some of the folks that we had come to know through building our link in bio tool. And so we spent a lot of time researching what current workflows looked like, what was hard about doing sales and tracking deals and doing outreach. And from there, we were able to build an MVP in short order. It took us about 6 weeks to launch our MVP. We focused primarily on the main deal view where folks can visually see all of their deals, kind of like a Trello board,
Hmm.
and move deals throughout the pipeline. And from there, I was able to get in the product, start using it to track my deals, give crucial feedback to the team, and started onboarding our first customers in the month of November. And from there, we've really just followed their needs and their feedback as closely as possible.
Okay, so you onboarded the first clients in November, so just a few months ago, yeah.
Just a few months ago,
Okay, yeah.
yes.
And how do you fund the project?
We raised outside capital from traditional VCs.
Okay, so you guys didn't want to bootstrap the project. What was the idea behind it, behind the VC funding?
The VC funding was a helpful way for us to get the project off the ground quickly. We also have folks on our team, some people with children, some
Yeah.
married folks, mortgages. So bootstrapping would be tough for us, and raising external capital enabled us to go full time and be focused on the project.
Was it easy to raise because we have like down market, I guess, and there's not so many, not so much money on the market right now, or am I wrong?
No, I think it's never easy to raise. For us, it was just about finding an investor who believed in what we were doing, and we had to take a number of calls. Fortunately, we found an early believer in Scribble Ventures, and from there, they were able to
It was like
introduce
a
us.
cold outreach to those guys,
No,
or
through a warm connection.
okay.
One of my old classmates from university knew the team and introduced us.
You studied on Stanford, yes?
That's right. That
That's right.
definitely helps in terms of fundraising. I won't lie.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of founders and investors from Stanford. How did you like Stanford?
Best 4 years of my life.
Really?
Beautiful campus, um, amazing professors, and many of my best friends and folks I work with are all from Stanford, so can't complain.
Yeah, great, great. I just I like startup books, and a lot of guys from startup books they went to Stanford, and for me it's so like exotic maybe, and for you it's like a normal thing. All right, so okay, Stanford, warm connections. easier to get funded. Um, but when you were seeking funding, you were like um, explaining your project that this is for the Web3 space, or was it for just CRM for fast-paced startups like you have your headline right now?
Hmm. No, we were pitching a different vision back then.
Okay.
For early
What was the
stage,
vision? Yeah. What was the vision?
um, that was initially our Shopify for DAOs, the platform for DAOs to fundraise and start their community.
Okay.
Now, in terms of early stage fundraising, at least what I find in the folks I talk to, many investors expect companies to pivot in the early stages. So, what they were investing in much more than the idea was the team. And my colleagues I'm fortunate to work with are very talented engineers and designers. Have worked at some great companies, and we as a team have a shared experience and history working together. So it was clear we had the skills to do it and weren't going to get in a fight because we had worked together for a long time and had that mutual respect. And so I think that more than anything is what got the investors behind us. But of course, they were excited for us to explore the Web3 space as well.
Okay. So when did you pivot? It was it after getting funded?
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
Well, when you say when did we pivot, I feel like, at least for us, startups are always pivoting and improving. Our first major pivot was in April of last year. That's when we moved away from the DAO tooling to the link in bio space. We worked on the link in
Okay.
bio project over the summer of last year. And then it was towards the end of the summer, early fall, when we finally came on to the right idea, which is the CRM product we're building today.
All right. So yeah, this is the quite a big change, but yeah, I think that the team is really important. Maybe the most important actually, because a good team can build a good product, and you can pivot and change the idea and still build a good product, but for better market. Okay. So how big is the team right now? Do you guys hired anyone?
There's five of us.
Mm-hmm.
So we have one other great employee, Nate, who works
Yeah, I
on the
spoke with
growth
Nate.
efforts.
He
Yes,
actually, yeah, he pitched me actually, and he made this possible. So,
exactly. Yes,
yeah,
we're very lucky to
cheers,
have
Nate.
Nate on the team. He is quite possibly the best person in Web3 at cold outbound and booking meetings. So we're lucky to have him on the team, and he's developed some great strategies for getting connected with folks.
Okay, so you've got five people, and what's your plan? Do you want to hire or stay small right now? And oh, I didn't ask. How much did you raised?
We raised $1.4 million at the start of the year. And in terms of the team and hiring, for now, we're enjoying staying small. We find that we're able to get a lot done with a small group of people. But we might plan to expand the engineering team later this year.
Okay. What's your go-to-market strategy? How you plan landing new clients? And are you targeting small clients like individuals or small entrepreneurs, or maybe a bigger mid-sized companies? What's
Right
your
now, our
plan?
sweet spot is teams with 3 to 5 salespeople. So I would say early stage companies that are established, they have a product they're selling, but they're still in the early days of their go-to-market phase and are trying to win over early customers and adopters. And we're able to come in, help them. Some of them are currently tracking deals in a spreadsheet or using Notion. Others have tried tools like HubSpot, but found them to be too bloated and clunky. And so we come in, help give them the organization they need while still giving them an environment that's comfortable to work in and fast paced and won't get in their way like a traditional CRM. And in terms of how we find them, we use our own product to do sales in the same way other customers do. So, very diligent in tracking leads, doing follow ups, and providing folks all the information they need in a timely manner to get deals closed quickly. And many of our early customers we've won over are folks who do sales heavily in Telegram because our system is built particularly well to track folks or to track deals that are being done in Telegram group chats.
So what kind of companies sail in Telegram chats?
Web3 companies.
Okay.
Yes, Web3 founders are using Telegram more often than they are using email.
Yeah, sure. Okay, I thought you stepped away from the Web3. So you are still targeting the Web3 startups.
To start, yes, we do
Okay.
plan to expand, and we have some customers that are outside of the Web3 space. But I should have made that clear from the start. Our CRM works particularly well for Web3 founders in the early day. And that was one thing that's, I think, been a big part of our early success is if we tried to build a CRM for everyone from the start, it
Yeah.
wouldn't be good for anyone. So being really focused on that Web3 Telegram use case enabled us in a short time to build a product that was really great for them.
Yeah, exactly. And now you have a lot of board founders
Yes.
here. They will test your product and then improve it for sure. I think. Okay, what's your biggest challenge right now? Building Barracuda.
Before I would have told you finding the right idea to work on because I see with some other founders, it looks like they just pick the perfect thing from the start. For us, it was not easy. We had to pivot a lot before we found the right idea. Now that we have that and we have traction, um, really our primary focus now is just continuing to build down our roadmap. We get so many feature requests, and it's there's only so many hours in the day. So trying to prioritize the features that are going to provide customers the greatest value is, I think, the most important thing for us right now.
Okay,
And
so
then
how do you prioritize? Because it's a struggle for many founders. You've got team, yeah, you've got like two developers, and a lot of times it's like you are a solo founder and you need to do sales, marketing, build a product, do support and stuff. So how do you prioritize what to work on and what feature is important?
well, one thing we've started doing since I maintain a tight relationship with all of our paying customers and the folks we're onboarding, I'm very diligent about documenting their needs and what features they're asking for. And then I'll post every bit of feedback I get in Slack. And so some features will come up again and again, and people just keep bringing them up. And so um, a good example for this is we hear very often that folks are doing a lot of their outreach via LinkedIn. And I wouldn't have guessed this to be so popular, even in Web3, but it is. And so that was a clear indicator for us that this quarter we need to go out and build a LinkedIn integration. And so having hard data is nice, but even without doing it in a quantified way, you'll just see the themes start to pop up in Slack of people asking for the same stuff, and by following those themes, we've had some success.
I have a philosophical question right now.
Mm-hmm.
What is your motivation? What motivates you to work on your own product? Do you had this spirit like from early days, from um, years back, or it just came up? Uh,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
uh,
a good question. I'd be curious to hear this from everyone on my team. For me personally, working as a product manager, early in my career, I often used Jira for issue tracking, which most engineers and PMs will know well. And
Yeah,
this
actually, I met a founder who founded a software house that was responsible for building Jira. It's a Polish guy. Yeah, he sold the company for loads of money. Yeah, so Jira
That's
is U.S. company, I guess, but they outsourced the all most of the work to this guy's company, and I met him a few
very
months
interesting.
ago. Yeah, yeah. Actually, I was shocked that that it was like done
Hmm.
by folks here in Poland.
Well, Jira, when I was working at Intuit, Jira works great for engineering and product
Yeah.
leadership to be able to do reporting and track across the entire organization. But for my day-to-day work, to create a new bug ticket or add a feature, the software just felt very slow and clunky, and every time I had to open it up, I dreaded the experience. And as a PM creating 100 tickets a week, I'm opening it all the time, and it starts to drag on you. And when I went to Main Street, I got to try a new issue tracking software called Linear, and I found that Linear offered very similar functionality, but because everything was accessible via hotkeys and a command palette, and the interface was just zero load time and a bit more intuitive for me to use, something that went from a constant annoyance became kind of a fun, delightful experience of creating a bug ticket. And in talking to folks that do sales and transitioning to doing sales myself, I'm starting to feel that same Jira experience again with existing CRMs of this is something I'm constantly have open in another tab, and it's constantly annoying throughout the day, and folks are designing for the revenue reporting leaders, not the people doing the day-to-day sales. And so for me, getting to build a software that's as delightful and fun to use as Linear, that makes people hate their jobs maybe a little less, that's what motivates me.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great motivation because I worked like for 10 years as a software developer before I went into building a businesses, building startups, and now Web3 and other crazy innovative stuff. Uh, and I was working as a developer, and but I didn't have connection to the end client. So I was creating some code or fixing some bug, but then I didn't see the look on my customer face or didn't get any feedback from customer. And then I went into building my first startup, and I was creating some feature, and then the clients were thanking me, they were paying me, and they were happy. So it was really great experience. And I now know how it make you feel if you have customers that pay you and thanks you at the same time. Yeah, so this is great motivation to build. um what's your next milestones for Barracuda? What's coming?
I mentioned LinkedIn. We have to integrate with more messaging platforms. We think it's so important for folks to be able to track the entire customer life cycle across different messaging platforms. So we've done Gmail and Telegram. We'll do LinkedIn, Twitter, Discord, WhatsApp. So many messaging platforms to integrate
Yeah.
with. So a long tail there. And once we've nailed that down, we'd like to build in smart automations to save founders and sales teams as much time as possible. So smart automated follow-ups for folks who don't respond to your messages across different channels, tasks to bring up the most important messages to respond to from customers. Um, I don't know about you, but when I open Telegram or Discord and see 50 DMs to respond to, it can be quite overwhelming. So that's one of the experiences we're hoping to help mitigate in the CRM. But mostly, we try not to plan the roadmap out too far because we're just going to listen to the most pressing questions from customers and address those as they come up.
What's your pricing strategy? I saw that you have only one price currently per seat,
That's right. Yes,
$25.
$30, 30 per user per month. And then it's free for view only. And we do that because we want everyone at the company to be able to get access to customer data.
Yeah.
And so if you're the manager or on the design team and you're not actively using the CRM, but you want to see customer data, it's free for you to get access.
And you are testing the pricing, or just it will be like this for a long time, or do you have any idea about it?
Yeah, we have not optimized our
Okay.
pricing. Our primary focus was build something that people love and love enough to pay for it. And so over time, we might move to usage based or what. We'll check with our customers to make sure, however we price it, best fits the value they're getting.
Okay. Do you think about introducing a free plan?
Definitely, we'd like to get a free plan out. Hopefully this year. At this point, we do a lot of work to support the teams who come on. I set up their CRM for them. I'll do some data migration for them. And so, for that reason, that's why we only have the paid plan. But as we build better self serve onboarding tools, we'll enable a free plan to bring in some folks who are just getting started.
Okay. So you're building actually a SaaS product, yeah?
That's
Um,
right.
how do you learn about building SaaS products? Do you have any good sources, communities, I don't know, books, podcasts, or anything where the SaaS founder can learn something new?
My favorite book on sales is called Spin Selling. I believe it's by Neil Rackham, but I can confirm that after.
Spin
Uh,
selling?
Spin, yeah,
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
SPIN
yeah.
Selling.
Okay, we will
Um,
add to the show notes.
yes, that was really instrumental for me in learning how to uncover customer needs and make sure that when I'm in a call, I can identify how our software can best support them and what they're doing. And that's been a huge success or a huge component to us selling our initial customers. In terms of staying up with tech, I love the My First Million podcast
Yeah.
on Spotify. I don't know how useful it is, but I listen to it, as well as Logan Bartlett's podcast, Cartoon Avatars. And then the best way to stay up to date on new tools for me is Twitter. Just keeping up with that and Product Hunt on what's getting launched.
Yeah, cool. What's your thoughts about the current state of the crypto market? About the bear market,
Yeah.
building through the bear. It's hard. And what's your thoughts? on it?
I think I'm a better builder than I am an investor. So I would never give people advice on where the price of the assets are going. Um,
Yeah.
my strategy is just hold what I have and try not to look at the prices too much. In terms of whether it's a good time to build, due to the fact that uh, it is a little harder to fundraise now. If you build a good product, it's less likely someone's going to be able to go out and raise money and copy you. So that might make it be a better time for a builder. But ultimately, building a great product takes time, and so the hardest thing about a bear market is selling customers and driving revenue. And so if you're just thinking about getting started, now could be a great time to build, and then you can start selling that product once the market turns around. And if you're currently selling, it's just about making sure what you're building is a painkiller and not a vitamin, as you mentioned.
Yeah, in Web3 space, it's so hard because it's not so the market is still emerging, and it's creating itself. It's not like you open a, I don't know, store, and you create a CRM platform. All sales team needs a CRM platform. In Web3 we are innovating and building something new. It's sometimes hard to think about the painkillers in this space, but do you think is it worth to build right now in the Web3 crypto space?
Well, when you ask if it's worth it, I think it's sort of one of those things where if there's something you feel compelled to build, like we do, you don't really have another option.
Hmm.
There's nothing else I'd rather be doing. So if there's something that gets folks excited, then the market shouldn't matter to you. Just go out and do it, and you'll make it happen.
Yeah, so this is a good way to think about it. Do you have any tips and tricks and advices for new founders, how to handle building, how to handle the stress, how to, I don't know, find a good co-founder? Any thoughts, any advices for young founders right there, out
My
there?
biggest thing, and this makes sense since I'm so sales focused, is you should one get rid of any shame you have reaching out to folks and following up and asking for meetings or asking for feedback or money or any of that. I had to leave all my shame at the door when I started Barracuda, and it's been helpful. It's hard, but it's helpful for me. And it's important to feel comfortable just asking folks for help or for what you need. And how that applies to sales specifically is I think many people believe that they don't want to follow up with someone more than once or twice because if they didn't get a response, they're a bother. And I disagree with that. People get inundated with so many messages. So if you're doing sales or outreach or partnerships, don't be afraid to reach out to someone five or seven or even 10 times. And eventually they'll see that message and get back to you.
Yeah, I was just talking with my uh, co-founder today, and said to him that the statistics shows that the fourth follow-up is the best way to get an answer. It's like the answer rate goes up to 40%, 80% or so, and you are saying like 5, 7, or even 10 times.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
I definitely have seen that with the fourth response phenomena, but sometimes it takes even more. So if it's an important deal you're trying to close, don't be afraid
yeah,
to stay on it.
yeah. But I think you should personalize it as much as you can, because I'm getting a lot of LinkedIn spam, like,
Mm.
long messages about the company that I don't care, and yeah, this follow up won't do it.
Right.
Actually,
Absolutely. It has to be about the customer
yeah,
and what you're going to do for them, not about you.
yeah, sure. All right, Sam. Can you tell us where we can find you and how to get in touch with you?
Yes, well, if you're currently tracking deals in a spreadsheet or overwhelmed by Telegram or tried HubSpot and didn't like it, we'd love to get you onboarded to the product. Our website's barracuda.io. Our Twitter is barracuda.io, so similar to the website. And then for me personally, you can find me on Twitter at underscore Sam Sklar. My Telegram is just Sam Sklar, and then my email is sam@barracuda.io.
Okay, last question. Why Barracuda?
Originally, we named it Barracuda,
Oh yeah, okay.
and that was hard to pronounce, and so we dropped the O, and we had already made a logo we loved with a barracuda, so it stuck.
Yeah, I love the name. I love the name. I love the product, and it was a real pleasure to talk with you, Sam, today. And I hope we will hang out in the Board Founders Club.
Absolutely, I'm excited to get into the Discord and meet more of the community, and thank you so much for having me.
Great. See you. Thank you. And we'll see each other in the Board Founders Club. Cheers.
Cheers.